All right, get ready because you are about to decode the literal DNA of ChatGPT and basically the entire modern AI revolution. Today, we're doing a deep dive into one of the most historically significant AI research papers ever published. Now, this explainer is specifically crafted for you first-year grad students who are maybe just starting to tackle these really dense research papers. We're going to cut right through the heavy jargon and just get straight to the absolute genius of it all.
So let's jump right in. If you've ever messed around with ChatGPT or Claude, or honestly any modern AI, you're literally looking at its origin story right now. Published back in 2017 by a team at Google, Attention is All You Need didn't just slightly improve existing tech. No, it completely threw out the rulebook and sparked a total revolution. Here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll hit the sequential reading bottleneck, then the transformer architecture, break down queries, keys, and values, check out their translation results, and finally, look at how this became the foundation of modern AI.
Okay, starting with part one, the sequential reading bottleneck. To really understand a breakthrough, we first got to understand the massive headache it was trying to fix.
See, before this paper dropped, the absolute state-of-the-art models for translating text relied on something called Recurrent Neural Networks, or RNNs. But they had a massive, fatal flaw. They were forced to process text sequentially, literally word by word. To figure out the current word, the model just had to sit around and wait for the math from the previous word to finish. That meant zero parallel processing. It was agonizingly slow, and worse, as sentences got longer, the network suffered from this kind of memory blur. It would literally forget the first few words by the time it finally reached the end of a long paragraph.
To put that into perspective, imagine trying to read a massive mystery novel. The old RNN approach, that's like being forced to read the whole book strictly word by word through a tiny little peephole. By the time you hit the huge twist on page 300, you have to rely entirely on your super blurry memory of a tiny clue from page 5. But the new approach this paper proposed, it's like having the entire book laid out flat on a giant table. For every single word you read, you instantly shoot out a million little lasers to connect and highlight every other relevant word in the entire book, all at the exact same time.
So, how in the world did the authors actually pull off this laser table idea? That brings us to part two. Enter the transformer architecture.
These researchers proposed a radically simple architecture that completely ditched sequential reading. Instead, they introduced this concept called self-attention. In plain, everyday English, self-attention allows every single word in a sentence to look at every other word at the exact same time, to gather deep global context. No more waiting in line.
If you're looking at figure 1 in the paper, that is basically your treasure map to how this works. You've got an encoder stack on the left, a decoder stack on the right. And the craziest part? Notice how the data flows straight up. It goes through positional encodings, into multi-head attention blocks, and right through feed-forward layers. There are no loops, there are no recurrences. It's just a straight, high-speed, parallel highway. Honestly, to fully grasp this architecture without getting totally lost in the weeds, you really only need to lock down 3 core concepts. First is self-attention, which we just talked about, grabbing global context simultaneously. Second is multi-head attention. Instead of calculating attention just once, the model does it multiple times in parallel, like, say, 8 times at once. One head might focus on grammar, while another hones in on vocabulary. And third, positional encoding. Think about it. Because we threw away sequential reading, the model actually has zero clue what order the words are in. So the researchers brilliantly injected these mathematical timestamps using sine and cosine waves straight into the words, giving the model a perfect map of where everything sits. All right, part 3, attention, queries, keys, values. We are going to take the heaviest math in this paper and translate it right into plain English.
So the paper introduces a formula called scaled dot product attention. I know, it sounds super intimidating, but honestly, just think of it exactly like doing a YouTube search. The transformer gives every single word in a sentence a query, a key, and a value. The query is literally what you type into the search bar, like cute cat. The key is the video title floating in the database, like funny kittens. The network calculates the dot product, which is really just a compatibility score between the query and the key. If they're a massive match, it multiplies that score by the value, the actual video you want to watch. It does all this just to figure out exactly how much focus or attention word A should be paying to word B. The real proof of how well this works is right in figures 4 and 5 of the paper. Those aren't just cool, colorful graphics. Those invisible threads of context are mathematical proof that the model fundamentally understands sentence structure.
It perfectly connects the word it's directly back to the word law earlier in the sentence. The model flawlessly figured out the context, not by reading left to right, but by mathematically proving that law was the absolute best value match for the query of it's.
Moving right along to part 4, breakthrough machine translation results. Because look, a beautiful theory is awesome, but what did this radical architecture actually achieve in the real world?
28.4. That is the massive blue score, which is the gold standard metric for translation quality, that their big transformer model hit on the English to German translation test. It didn't just beat previous records, it absolutely destroyed them, outperforming even massive, clunky ensembles of older models by over 2 full points.
But honestly, the real mic drop moment of this paper wasn't just its accuracy, it was the mind-blowing speed. On the English to French task, it hit a state-of-the-art 41.8 blue score after training for just 3.5 days. And it did that on exactly 8 GPUs. In the world of AI research, that is a laughably tiny fraction of what training used to cost. They proved that ripping out those old sequential loops didn't just make the model smarter, it made it terrifyingly fast to train.
And that brings us to our final part, the foundation of modern AI. Let's look at why this specific breakthrough is the absolute bedrock of the field you're studying today.
For all you computer science grads listening, here is the absolute magic of this paper. The fundamental breakthrough is computational complexity. Old RNNs required O of n sequential operations. You literally couldn't compute step 10 until step 9 was totally finished. That is an absolute nightmare for modern GPUs, which are explicitly built to do thousands of things at once. But the transformer? By using self-attention, it crushed those sequential operations down to O of 1, constant time. This was the key that finally unlocked the ability to train AI on massive internet-scale datasets entirely in parallel.
By swapping out those clunky recurrences for highly optimized matrix math using those query, key, and value vectors, this paper unlocked the era of infinite scaling. This architecture fixes vanishing gradients and handles long-range context flawlessly. And that is exactly why the transformer is the underlying engine for literally every single large language model we use today. GPT-4, Llama, BERT, every single one of them is, at its core, a transformer built directly on the principles from this 2017 paper. By totally throwing out the old rules and asking what seemed like a crazy question, what if we just look at everything all at once? These researchers completely changed history. Attention is all you need literally unlocked the modern era of AI. So as you dive headfirst into your own graduate research, armed with this foundation, the biggest question is, what are you going to do with it? Thanks so much for hanging out for this explainer, and good luck with your research.